our levels of development depend on our will to receive. That's our substance, our will to receive, which evolves continuously. However, the development of the will to receive is gradual. First, it evolves into physical desires, focusing on what the body needs. Even if people live alone, they would still want food, sex, family, and home. This is what their bodies need. So these physical desires were the first to develop during the early generations of humanity. Then came the need for wealth and money. The will to receive kept growing. Following the desire for money came the desire for honor and power. Now we see that many more people began to evolve. Those who had been focused on physical desires moved on to desires for wealth. Those with desires for wealth went on to seek honor and power. And following honor came the desire for scientific knowledge. We all feel desires and we feel them change, but we don't really pay attention to this system that is placed in us by nature well enough so that we can understand what it's doing for us. We all understand that our first sort of grasp of what pleasure is just survival type pleasures. The first category, we see pleasure as and require sex, food, and shelter. All of our efforts, our work, what we perceive around us, the whole goal of our lives has to do with finding and getting these things. And this is a desire that we have in common with animals. It doesn't require other people, we just need this to survive. And once we have this filled, we realize that life is about much more than that, and we can't be satisfied with it. And a second category of desires appears. This is a desire for wealth. Wealth is the accumulation of the first category, so that I'll never have to worry about it again. I will be able to control it. And once we fill this desire for wealth, we come to the feeling that, is that all there is? Something else grows in us. Now, notice that it's not simply that it's another desire that's growing, but it's a greater desire, one that encompasses the one before it. In other words, here we have a small desire and a small filling. And here we have a desire that is grown, and it requires a greater filling. And this one is incorporated in this one. So now, if I can't be filled by wealth, there's a new desire that arises in me, and that is a desire for power. This doesn't happen only to the individual in their lives, but it's happened to humanity as a whole throughout history. The whole scope of history has been the evolution of these desires. Power is the ability to control both this and this. All systems that will bring me the greatest collection of that. Now, this is political power, this is empire, this is control in my job. And once I have that, I can no longer be satisfied with it. I become empty, I feel a lack. And a fourth desire is placed inside of me, a greater, expanded desire for something that encompasses all of that, and that is knowledge. Knowledge is the barrier, in a sense, of what it is that we define as the physical world. These desires, 1, 2, 3, and 4, all have to do with what we perceive as pleasure, that is, what we are being filled with and what we want, what will satisfy us. Well, knowledge is science, it is religion, it's art, it's the pinnacle of what we consider to be what humanity could possibly achieve. And yet anybody who seriously delves into this very great desire and attempts to fill it eventually discovers that this is empty as well.